Rabah. Oh yeah, he's gone. Yeah. No, the deal when he left was, I got 2 or 3 each. That's what Anu does all day long. Yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare.
Can I ask you guys a favor? When we're doing a live stream, can you just make sure nobody stands like right in front of the camera?
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Much appreciated.
That's a lot of things.
So we're going to be actually, we start at the first and then we walk here.
So let's move over here, Dad.
We need to keep this clear for the procession. We're just going to wait because we're going to follow the coffin. We're going to be walking down here, so we need to keep this clear. Because we're going to walk on down this area here. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to, you guys will follow. Hi everyone, can you hear me? Not too loud, just right. I'm Rena Sector Elbaz from Congregation Sharazedic. So we're going to be bringing the coffin out here and we'll be walking this way and then everyone can follow. And we're going to be starting with Psalm 23. Okay, we can go. Mizmor leDavid, Adonai re'i lo echsad, binodeh sheyarbitzeini, al mei menuchot yenahaleini. Nafshi yeshova v'yancheni b'magalei tzedek leman shemo, gam ki elech bagiat salmavet. לא ירא רק ידע עמדי, שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני, תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צוררי, דשנת בשמן ראשי כוס רוויה, אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. A song of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even as I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. I would like to welcome all of you who have come to gather today to honor the memory of Jeanette Zimmer, Janya Bat Moshe Vasara, who passed away on the 27th of November, the 3rd of the Hebrew month of Kislev, 5783. beloved mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. May the memory of Janya Bat Moshe Visara be a blessing. I'm first going to call on Alex to come and speak. Thank you. The sound is okay?
Yeah.
And maybe look that way too.
Okay.
My mother did not like speeches at funerals that went on and on. In fact, she wanted no speeches and would say, "No one wants to know about my cooking." We negotiated that we'd have some speeches, and she finally said, "Well, I won't be there anyways." So let me pay tribute to my mother, share a few things about this extraordinary woman, an extraordinary life that was a role model for my sister Linda and myself. Most of you know my mother survived the horrors of the Holocaust in Nazi Germany and came to Canada when she was 20 years old, where she met my father, Leo. They had a loving, strong marriage. A few years ago, I sat in her kitchen on Sunday morning, and the first time in my life, my mom opened up to me. Linda and I had a wonderful life growing up, not knowing about the atrocities of the Holocaust. For the next half hour, she shared in a composed manner the chronological details of her life in Poland during the Holocaust. She spoke of her survival of the war and her arrival in Winnipeg. When she was done, I said, "Mom, how did you survive?" She said, "The will to live is so strong." My mother did not let the past dominate her life, but instead looked for happiness. My mother and I had many conversations about world issues. Due to her past, she was worried about the rise of anti-Semitism. This Saturday, we were talking, and she was talking about her favorite topic, Donald Trump, and yes, Kanye. Her iPad was her constant companion. She would say, "I read it on my iPad." Not only did she read the news from everything from CNN, Jerusalem Post, and the Haaretz, but she read the Polish newspaper in Polish. My mother Googled everything, and we joked around that she knew everyone that was Jewish or had Jewish heritage. She was so well-versed and knowledgeable. My mother was so generous. She supported and donated to Jewish causes in Israel. Every Rosh Hashanah, she purchased Israeli bonds for her grandchildren, Joel and Leanne, and she continued this tradition with her great-grandchildren, Julie and Hannah. In fact, 2 days before, I went to the bank with her to purchase U.S. drafts to buy those bonds. My mother taught me how family was so important. She would kvel at family gatherings as she watched the interaction of her children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nephews, and family friends. She was the last of her 7 siblings, and she loved receiving phone calls from her nieces and nephews. My cousin shared with me that they enjoyed their long, engaging conversations with my mom. My mother loved and was loved by all. She was a great mother to Linda and I, a wonderful mother-in-law to Harriet, a Baba to Joel and Leanne, a great Baba to Julie and Hannah, an inspiration role model to nieces and nephews, and a good friend to many. We've been very fortunate to have my mother in our lives for so many years. I already missed my 3 o'clock phone calls with my mom on my way home from the office. Yesterday, I actually picked up the phone twice. Mom, you will be deeply missed. We love you.
Thank you, Alex. And Joel and Leanne are also going to say a few words.
Baba Jeanette was our Baba, and really a Baba to so many others. This is likely because she was so caring and made you feel right at home. Visits with Baba Net or Baba J always involved ice cream or cookies and singing songs. She loved her great-grandchildren dearly. She always shared how happy they made her. She never missed an opportunity to say, "I love you, and you make me so happy," and the feelings were mutual.
You could feel the love in Baba's food. from latkes to blintzes to honey cake and meatballs. It was all so delicious, and we know many of you enjoyed the overflow deliveries. We love to cook with Baba, and we tried to learn how she made everything so delicious, but she was really the one doing all the hard work. My hope is that we will make any of her recipes half as well as she did. We'll never take for granted the time we spent with her. Baba Jeanette took so much joy in our professional careers and personal lives. She was always up to date on what we were doing and U.S. politics.
She loved her family and was always quelling in our joy. I hope she knows she brought as much joy as we brought her. May her memory be a blessing.
Thank you. Yesterday I had the opportunity of talking on Zoom with Alex and Harriet, and I was fortunate to have already had the opportunity of working with you both several years ago when I was at JCFS, and I feel a connection to your family. Although I didn't have the opportunity to meet your mother personally, Alex, I felt that I got to know her from our discussion yesterday. She strikes me as the epitome of Jewish pride. Having experienced profound suffering during the Holocaust, she's like the bold anthem of Hatikva, a bright light of hope that our people could walk proud once again and gain back the self-respect that we lost. I understand how people looked up to her as a role model and sought her out. I loved hearing about her involvement and support of community, and I especially loved to hear about how she made friends with people of all ages. She must certainly have inspired people by her independence, her wonderful cooking, as you mentioned, and her ability to connect family and friends to history. Despite her advanced age, she was always relevant and up to date on world affairs, and she had stories to tell, and we are fortunate to have recorded these stories through the wonderful resources of the Spielberg tapes, the Endowment Book of Life, and the Gray Academy Roots Project. Gracious, knowledgeable, elegant, curious, and engaged. From our conversation, I see how she touched all those who encountered her. Your stories alone have touched me and given me a glimpse of who Janya was. I'm honored to be here to support you and celebrate the life of this wonderful person, Jeanette Zimmer, Janya Bat Moshe V'Sara. May her memory be a blessing for all time, and may her example of love help comfort you and yours in the years to come. Thank you. The family would like you to know that the meal of consolation will be private, but you are all invited to the Shiva that will be held at 44 Deersley Place this evening from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., and then again Wednesday from 2 to 4 and from 7 to 9. I'm going to now chant the El Maleh Rachamim. El Maleh Rachamim Shochein B'Amramim Hametzeh Menucha Nechona Al Kanfei HaShechina B'Ma'alot Kedoshim V'Tehorim Kezohar Arakia Mazirim Et Neshamat Janya Bat Moshe V'Sara Shelacha Leolama Bavur Shenedvut Tzedaka Be'ad Haskarat Neshamata Began Eden Teyem Menuchata Lachen Bal Rachamim Yastireha B'Seter Knafav Leolamim Veyitzrar Betzrar Achaim Et Neshamata Adonai Unechalata Vetanuach Al Mishkava B'Shalom Venomar Amen. O God, full of compassion, who dwells on high, grant true rest upon the wings of the Shekhinah, the divine presence, in the exalted spheres of the holy and pure, who shine as the resplendence of the firmament to the soul of Janya Bat Moshe V'Sara, who is gone to her supernal world, for charity has been donated in remembrance of her soul. May her place of rest be in Gan Eden. Therefore, may the All-Merciful One shelter her in the cover of his wings forever, and bind her soul in the bond of life. The Lord is her heritage. May she rest in her resting place in peace. And let us say, Amen. Please join me now for the mourner's Kaddish. Itkadal ve'itkadash shemei Rabah, be'alema divera cherute ve'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon ufchaye dechol beit Israel, ba'agala uvizman kariv vimeru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabah mevorach le'alam ulalme almaya, itbarach ve'ishtabach ve'itfoar ve'itromam ve'itnase, ve'itadar ve'itale ve'italal shemei dekudsha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata ve'shirata, tushbechata ve'nechemata, damiran be'alma vimeru Amen. Yehi shlomo Rabah min shamaya, ve'chaim tovim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael vimeru Amen. Ose shalom bin romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael vimeru Amen. Hamakom yenachem etchem betoch sha'ar avalei Tzion ve'Yerushalayim. May the omnipresent comfort you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We are now going to do what they consider to be one of the highest mitzvot and acts of tzedakah, because the person cannot pay it back. So we will all, as you are able, participate in the burial. It's traditional to put 3 shovels full onto the grave, using the back of the shovel because you're supposed to do it differently than you would ordinarily do. Please don't pass the shovel to somebody else so as not to pass the grief. Just put it back in the earth. For those of you whom the shovel is a little bit too difficult, there is a bucket of sand there, and that is also appropriate. It's mostly symbolic, so don't take any risks. And the family will go first. While you're doing that, I would just like to let you know that donations in honor of her memory can be made to the Holocaust Education Center of the Jewish Heritage Center.
see you. How you doing?
I'm sure I'll see you 3 times before, but
Yeah, I'll see you for lunch.
yes.
How you doing? Okay, yeah. I'll get Mike. I'm assuming this is off.
Yeah.
I know.
Have some good visits and stories, and maybe try to replicate a recipe or two.
We said she would teach years for 50 I was trying to learn to make something. So she would make something, she'd be like, I made everything.
That's not the point.
She would teach people how to do something.
Yeah.
So
We definitely got some of that. Yeah.